Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy has been released from WWE. We reported about it earlier today, and now the wrestling world is reacting to the big bombshell of a news dropped earlier today by Fightful.com. Jeremy and myself, Jose, we're going to be jumping into more on Jeff Hardy. Plus, we got some news on Tony Khan having some talks with WWE, and it's not what you think it is. Plus, the legendary Rey Mysterio Jr. has launched his own cartoon for the Latin American market. We're going to jump into all of these stories and more in the top story. Here we go. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! What's going on, everyone? It is the top story here on Sports Keto Wrestling on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. I'm Jose G, and always with me, Jeremy Bennett. Today, we got a lot to talk about. Huge news coming out of WWE and Fightful that Jeff Hardy was released earlier today. We did have a breaking news stream earlier in the day with Kevin Kellerman, SP3, covering the news as it was developing. And right now we're getting some reaction from not only fellow workers in the business, but journalists. His wife made a comment on there, but tons to get into today. Jeremy, what about that big news? It's just big bombshell today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to speculate what really happened. WWE claims they reached out to offer rehab and help, and Jeff denied it, and that's what caused the release. But then you got all the conspiracy theorists out there. Did Jeff do this on purpose to get out of the deal? Matt seems like has been said he's fine. His wife said he's fine. So maybe there was not much to this. Maybe WWE is trying to make this more than it is. I don't know. It's a very strange situation, though. We can't just assume Jeff has relapsed, because it really doesn't appear that it doesn't appear that that's the case. So it's just a really strange situation all around. If WWE is just making it a bigger deal than it actually is.
It really is. Guys, go ahead and sound off in the comments. Let us know what your guys' thoughts on today's WWE release of Jeff Hardy. Go ahead and sound off in the comments. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. Hit the like button on Facebook. Share in your favorite wrestling group. Chime in the comments. Do that now. And more than importantly, smash the notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. We got stuff dropping on the daily breaking news. Dirty Dutch Mantel on Smack Talk with Rick Cochino and SP3 every Friday night. Monday nights, it's Vince Russo and Dr. Chris Featherstone with the Legion of Raw, and myself, Enrico El Glorioso, every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite to cover AEW Dynamite and NXT in the debrief. So we got tons of content for you guys dropping every single day. So let's talk about some of the reactions that we're getting on social media from the wrestling world when it comes to this Jeff Hardy release. But more importantly, let's talk about what his wife said, because his wife put out a statement, very short statement, short and sweet. He's okay, but she was vocal. She was one of the first people to come out to kind of be like, okay, he's doing fine.
Beth put out there literally after the news had broke, just a little before 11 o'clock Central Time. She had put out there that Jeff is good. We are good. Post that you quote unquote heard that. Thanks. And then Jeff Hardy retweeted that same post from his own personal account as well. That came from Beth. And then all over the wrestling world, a lot of people, Big E saying Jeff Hardy is so beloved by his fans and peers. I've never heard a negative word about him, and he's always treated me with such kindness, just wishing him and his family the best. And just a whole lot of tweets from so many people saying the exact same thing. Damian Priest, Josiah Williams, Bailey, and Mustafa Ali, to name a few.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his impact has been big throughout the wrestling community and the people who work in the business. And a lot of people that have already started to criticize WWE's decision of releasing Jeff Hardy ahead of what happened, over the weekend at that live event where he just abandoned that multi-man tag match. started taking pictures with Jeff with the fans while he was leaving, and just never came back. And a lot of people are already just sending him well. We wish him well. We hope that he hasn't relapsed, but we don't know if he has relapsed. We know that he has a history with addiction and substance abuse, but we don't know if that's what's happening. We don't know if he's in another state of mind where he just didn't want to be there. Maybe he felt it's pure speculation what we can think at the moment, what's going through his mind, and what caused the release in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Andrew Zarian and Matt Min, he had put out a statement today saying, what I was told is that he's been really good. He does occasionally drink, but the last couple of weeks have been rough for him. Those are the words, more or less. I hope he gets better.
Yeah, same here. Well, we definitely hope that he gets past whatever's going on. Now, here's the situation: does Jeff Hardy, because he was just like immediately released, does he have a 90-day non-compete? Will this leave him? Will this be the lead way to AEW to have a reuniting moment with his brother Matt Hardy?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, anytime you get released, it's going to be a 90-day no compete because you're still under contract. So that's probably going to be the standard. Is going to be 90 days. That's going to be the assumption, unless we hear something else. I would assume that's going to be 90 days.
Yeah, CRC here putting a comment on Facebook. Can't be mad at WWE for this release. Some things going on that we as fans do not know. Some things are okay. Stay in the house. Exactly. So we don't know the full story, and you guys can make assumptions and speculate all you want. But right now, we don't know the full story as far as what's going on with Jeff Hardy. All we can do is just send him the positive vibes, the well wishes, and hopefully he can get through whatever he's going through. That's the most important part. And for us as fans to be supportive of Jeff Hardy, and hopefully he's doing well. All right, man. Let's move over to our second story, because I feel like everybody's starting to get the little overdose of Jeff Hardy. But let's move on to some tribalism, because Tony Khan is making the news headlines today. Had an interview with what was it, My Mom's Basement podcast, and he said that he's been recently in talks with WWE. What's going on here?
Yeah, Tony Khan in contacts with officials from WWE. Basically, Khan is saying that the company has reached out to him about interviewing former WWE wrestlers who now work for AEW. So actually, it's been WWE contacting Tony about giving them the okay. Probably much like when Chris Jericho appeared on the Broken Skull sessions with Steve Austin, as that was mentioned in the article, that it was not the first time that WWE's reached out. Khan has explained about the conversations. Everything, as long as everything's classy, and that's just the way they approached me. Everything has been very class. I have nothing bad to say about it. So I don't know if we'll see that, but considering some of these requests on some of these biographies, it was actually really nice that I received that call the other day. So it'll be. It looks like WWE is trying to get maybe some former wrestlers on the record for some sort of new documentaries. I do know a story broke earlier today about WWE working on a bunch of new documentaries. So that's probably what that was. Tony, it did mention there that Tony Khan was not complimentary, and the topic of conversation shifted to Sting's last run at WWE, and and so he said that the last time he saw Sting, he wasn't winning matches. The whole time he was back in WWE, they screwed him out of multiple matches. Let's be honest. He should have been presented better. So, but it looks like now the conversation's been pretty good between the two sides. So it'll be interesting to see who and when, and what these documentaries are going to be for.
Yeah, man, and they have a good handful of top former WWE talent. One in the name of Mox, the other one in Bryan Danielson, and many others that are there now. And I'm sure they're probably going to want to use that time. And I'm glad that they're reaching out.
I think we lost Jose there. He is frozen. He's frozen in time. But I did find out there was information regarding the documentaries.
And have
Uh,
that
oh,
amicable.
there you are.
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I think my internet's acting up today. I think I got
Yeah.
Dutch Mantel's Wi-Fi signal.
Oh no. Yeah, I was just talking about the documentaries. The PW Insider has reported that there has been some movement regarding WWE producing documentaries again and looking to hire producers to work in that division of the company. So it seems to be a focus in 2022 for the WWE, which then prompted them to probably call Tony Khan to get some approvals for some of the AEW wrestlers to take part in some of those documentaries. So it'll be pretty cool to see what WWE has in store for us coming in next year. Because obviously, one of the great things that they do is the documentaries. So we'll have to see what happens in the future regarding that.
Sorry about that. Something just. I think I literally picked up on Dutch Mantel's Wi-Fi signal because it just kicked me out all of a sudden. But I'm back in. Everything's good. We're fine here. But yeah, man, this should be interesting. Let's see what happens down the road. Let's see what talents they do end up interviewing. I could only imagine probably maybe a Daniel Bryan, maybe a topic of discussion for a WWE documentary. I don't know. We'll see what happens down the line here. But very interesting take here, and I'm glad that it was amicable and they treated Tony Khan very nicely.
Yeah.
All right, man. Moving on to our next story here. I thought this was a very cool story. Rey Mysterio. So he put up a tweet a couple days ago that he was going to make an announcement that was going to change the legacy of his career for forever. And now we know what that change in his career is as he launches a brand new animated series in Latin America. What's the scoop here, bro?
Rey Mysterio has announced that he's going to have his own animated series on Cartoon Network Latin America. The series will combine excitement and adrenaline of wrestling with mystery, mythology, mystery, magic, and supernatural beings. It sounds like Rey Mysterio meets Scooby Doo. He had mentioned in a press release, after 35 years of career and multiple achievements, I was still missing something. I always wanted an animated series with the character of Rey Mysterio. When the idea was presented to me, I immediately was captivated. Working with Cartoon Network has been incredible. I can't think of anyone better than this group to make this project a reality. So pretty cool to see that come about.
Yeah, man, I think this is awesome, dude. I don't know if you remember back in the day. I think it was maybe 15 years ago, maybe a little bit more. Mucha Lucha. Remember Mucha Lucha?
Nope.
Oh, dude. That was a Lucha Libre wrestling based cartoon that used to air on Cartoon Network back in the day. Awesome cartoon. But it looks like they're adding some anime on here. It's going to be Spanish. So it looks like it's going to be in Latin America. But I'm hyped up for this. I love anything that Rey Mysterio does. And now that he jumped up on his own project, this is great, dude, just because it's definitely going to leave his legacy. He's already carrying the Mysterio name from his father from over 40 years ago. And now this is his legacy is going to continue with that cartoon. I think this is really cool. It kind of goes line in line with a lot of other WWE superstars are doing, which are doing like side projects. You know, you got Dolph Ziggler, who's a comedian. You got Xavier Woods, who's a G4 host, and he does things with video games. You have Kane, who's now a politician. So this does fit in the lines of, side projects for current WWE superstars. He is up there in age, so he might be out the door. Well, do you think this is something that he's going to jump into? Maybe get into more Hollywood, more not necessarily Hollywood, but more cartoon development or side projects that involve developing things like this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see what he will do in the future. I could honestly, especially with his son being in WWE, I could see him being an agent down the road. He's got a lot of friends there that are already agents in the business there with WWE. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him be an agent down the road. I don't know. I don't really strike him to be really much of a Hollywood guy. Maybe that changes when he's done completely, because obviously he's focused on this for so long. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really strike me to seem like he would strike out to look into the entertainment world on a full-time basis after he's done wrestling.
Now, I don't know if you know about lucha libre history, but back in the day, like in the 60s, early 70s, lucha libre was huge and massive, or it still is in Mexico. But at that point, you have luchadors like El Santo, who was featured in major motion pictures in Mexico.
Hmm.
And that's the same case with like Blue Demon Jr., Hijo del Santo. So all those guys that are high Mexican luchador names, they used to be in action films in Mexican cinema. So I'm wondering if Ray will probably go that route. I don't think so,
Did
but
they
it'll be
do those?
fun. It'll be
Did they
fun.
do those while they were wrestling or after their career
I
was
don't
over?
know. I don't remember, dude. I don't know if they were doing it while they were wrestling or if they took time off to do it. I don't know of enough history of that, but I do know that a lot of the big names during that golden era of lucha libre, those guys were the guys that you would see on the silver screen back in the day. So
Hmm.
it's mind boggling to me that they would be movie stars down there. All right, man. Let's. Speaking of side projects, looks like another WWE not superstar but commentator has struck in a massive deal with FanDuel.
Hmm.
Pat McAfee announced today about his multi-million-dollar deal with FanDuel with his show, the Pat McAfee Show.
Hmm.
What are the
Yeah.
details on this, bro? Because
Yeah,
this is amazing.
actually, with Pat McAfee, the WWE is his side job, as he has had this show for several years now. Pat, this is a second deal that has been reached because previously, FanDuel and Pat McAfee got together, and I think it was just a 1 year deal, and it's probably a test run to see how the partnership would go. And obviously, the Pat McAfee show's only been taking off from here, and he does tremendous work integrating sports betting in with his shows. So clearly, there has been a payoff with FanDuel with that partnership that they've had over the past year, to where they signed a brand new deal over $30 million per year. It's a 4 year deal with an opt out after 3 years. They already had a sponsorship, like I mentioned, with FanDuel, but this is an extension that gives him an absurd amount of money, as he put it, to continue running the show and expand it. But basically, this is going to be the richest talent deal in sports media history, and
Crazy.
no word on how much of the 30 million is base pay versus potential enticements and affiliate referrals. But it is definitely a huge deal because of the not only just the amount of money, but I mean they just had began a partnership a year ago, and so they've already seen good things from both sides that have come about to lead to this gigantic deal.
Yeah, man, this is kind of crazy because this is also kind of along the same lines um with Joe Rogan, right? Like Joe Rogan and his Spotify deal. That kind of was like the first of its kind with Spotify getting into the podcast game. And now we see FanDuel kind of doing the same thing with Pat McAfee with the Pat McAfee show. Now, I don't know if you've listened to both shows, but they're both about 3 hours long. I've listened to a Joe Rogan podcast and I've watched a Pat McAfee show, and they're both about 3 hours long. So these guys are super committed to what they're doing. And dude, if he has a $30 million, he doesn't need to work with WWE.
Yeah, but he loves the business, so that's why he is with WWE. And he says he doesn't make any money really off of the WWE deal. He's just doing it for the love of it. So, yeah, he doesn't have to, but he wants to.
And that's what makes him such a great color commentator with
Exactly.
Michael Cole. Yep.
Hmm.
Let's jump into some of these comments before we head out here for today. Again, guys, today's top story was Jeff Hardy in the wrestling world reacting to Jeff Hardy's release. Sound off in the comments. Let us know what you think. We'll read some of your comments here before we head out. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new stuff. Tonight, I got my show, Recons of Wrestling, dropping at 8 p.m. tonight live on Facebook and on YouTube. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. Rico El Glorioso will be with me. We're going to be breaking down everything that went down this week, and we're definitely going to be talking Jeff Hardy tonight. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these comments. Yuri Gina's here. Santos versus La Momia de Guerrero. Good film. And then Eric Calaveras and El Santo was doing them at the same time as he was wrestling. So that answers your question right over there.
I thought they were.
Yeah, Supersonics X are watching us on YouTube. A lot of WWE stars doing side projects. Like you said, Ray's doing a cartoon, Woods on G4, Kane Political, Asuka YouTuber. We might see Asuka outside of WWE, perhaps, in an anime.
Yeah, right now, Austin Creed, Xavier Woods on G4 right now, and special guest tonight already made an appearance, Cesaro, and he'll be on Attack of the Show, which is at the top of the hour. So if you want to see Cesaro in action on G4, go to G4 TV on YouTube. It looks like right now both Cesaro and Creed are not on there, so I think they're getting ready for Attack of the Show.
Tom Whitehouse there was saying that, watch out, that Dirty Dutch is after your job.
He is. He's giving you his Wi-Fi.
I don't think he wants my job. I don't think he wants to do this.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chat.
Let's see here. Let's give Pat much love on all the money he gave away. Yeah, that was an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, he's donating a lot of money after that deal as well. He's announced too. So I'm trying to see if he mentioned any of that. It just says he's donating to various causes and organizations and significant bonuses for his crew. If it is anything like the last FanDuel deal, which was actually a lot smaller deal, I think, but he literally gave his crew briefcases full of money and said, "Here you go." So Pat's a good dude. Pat's a good dude.
Good dude. Christopher Ryan Cooper watching us on Facebook. Just sad Jeff's not in WWE anymore. But if he needs help, hopefully he gets it. And maybe he just needs to be with his brother, and that will help him. Hall of Famer for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt, as long as he's good and healthy, there's no doubt he'll be in AEW with his brother sooner than later. I mean, Matt was already starting to phase out the big money Matt gimmick. He's already talked about doing that, so I think then the next step might be the return to the Broken Universe. Now that we got fans back, I think we got the right moment possibly to bring back Brother Nero.
All the ingredients are there. You could probably expect that spring of 2022. So
yep.
All right, guys, we covered a lot of stuff today. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us here on The Top Story. Like I mentioned, tonight I have my show, Weekends of Wrestling. But, Jeremy, what do you got going on this week?
Not much yet. We're still on a little bit of a hiatus for Lost of the Mid-Card. We're hoping to maybe be back maybe next week, maybe beginning of the year with our yearly awards show that we call the Marquees. That is our awards show. But stay tuned. Follow me at JB Huskers. You can head over to YouTube, search for Lost in the Mid-Card. We'd love to have you subscribe to that because we got a lot of cool things coming up. I think we are going to have a new way of presenting our video podcast. So you would definitely want to subscribe to YouTube. Also, we have an audio version as well. So search for Lost in the Mid-Card. Hit the new feed for the audio, but we'd love to see you on YouTube as well.
Definitely, guys. Go ahead and do that. And you can follow me on my socials at Jose G Official on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm always posting stuff over there, mostly on Instagram, but go ahead and give me a follow right over there. So that's it for tonight's show, guys. Remember, tonight we do have the Bro Show on Instagram. That is at 10:30 p.m. tonight. The Bro Show features Diamond Dallas Page, Vince Russo, and Dr. Chris Featherstone. That is at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday morning, 9 a.m. Indian Standard Time. So make sure you are following us on Instagram and make sure you stay tuned for The Bro Show tonight on IG. So that is it for tonight. For Jeremy Bennett, I'm Jose G. Remember, guys, when watching wrestling, you have to do the most important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
Enjoy wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah, see?
See?